really is how. Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Please rise. I'm going to ask Pastor Charlie Burton, Assembly God, to lead us in prayer tonight.
Thank you.
It's up to you.
Thank you, sir. Father, we love you. We thank you for opportunity to invoke your name tonight over this city council meeting. Father, over our mayor and the members of our council, we thank you, Lord, for opening the windows of heaven. We pray blessings upon their homes and families for sacrifices that they make. Father, over our city as a whole, over our police department, over our chief, over our fire department and first responders, we thank you, Lord, for opening the windows of heaven and showing on their behalf safety. And you said no weapon formed against them will prosper. And we pray that in these times in which we live, we thank you for your hand upon our lives. We thank you for your blessings upon our homes. We ask you tonight, Lord, as we begin to enact business and commerce in this great city, we ask your hand to be upon us. Lead us and guide us, and you be glorified in everything that is said and done. We thank you tonight in the wonderful name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Everyone face the American flag, the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Salute the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our February regular meeting. Do you need to call your meeting together? We're having a joint meeting with the EDC and the City Council.
Yeah, and we have a quorum. So we got to call the order.
We have everyone. So the call can move further. The need for the joint meeting is to discuss the logistics center with BNSF. Lacey Kruger's here. She has her staff. Lacey, I'm gonna let you come up and get it started.
Thank you. Good evening, Lacey Krieger, BNSF. As you know, I've been here before to talk to you about our logistics center that we're constructing in Cleveland. It's a 1,200-acre industrial park that's going to serve multi-customers and multiple commodities. And so as we worked through the development of the center and our engineering team has worked through the design, we've talked with city staff about the utilities that we're going to be constructing in order to accommodate our future customers. And when we started talking about this, we talked about how could we potentially partner to benefit the city. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk to you about today. At first, we were going to talk about this grant that we had identified. It's an EDA grant, and we were going to position that BNSF as well as the city go in to help fund some of these improvements. As of yesterday, we found out that the grant no longer has any funding available. And so instead of not coming and talking to you today, we still wanted to kind of give you an overview of the project, the utilities, the scope of work, and then there is an ask kind of at the end. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation. So again, we have 1,200 acres that we're developing. It's outlined in purple on the screen. It's a little hard to see, but with the idea of it serving multiple customers, I think we can accommodate anywhere from a 6-acre lot, up to 100-acre lot, 200-acre lot. It just, depends upon the customer's needs. And so with that, we started looking at what utilities we would need, and LJA, Tim's here with LJA, was looking at, based on what we thought the future demands would be, what do we need the capacity for our facility. And so you can see, in terms of the water utilities needed, we think we'll need about 150,000 gallon elevated storage tank, and then a 200,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. And again, this is just a summary of the capital that BNSF is going to put into the footprint. So to serve our future needs, we think it's going to be about $4.4 million. And again, we were going to go after a grant to help fund this, but since the grant's no longer available, it's just going to be straight BNSF capital that will build this, again, to accommodate the needs of our customers. So as we've talked with city staff, we know that there's a potential need to support future growth in the city of Cleveland. And so while we were building it, we thought, well, what could we build to help, what would need to be upsized in order to accommodate that growth? And so this is what you can see on the screen today. The groundwater well, we're proposing we could increase it by 50%. So that takes it from 200 GPM to 300 GPM, which provides the city with 100 extra GPM. The elevated storage tank could increase the size by 66%, which would provide the city with an additional 1/3 of that tank, or 83,000 gallons. And then the wastewater treatment plant, basically we would build our wastewater treatment plant and then we would mirror that, so you increase it by 100%. So it'd go from 200,000 gallons per day average flow to 400,000 gallons. So this chart kind of gives you a summary of total construction cost, which is the $7.5 million, but again, BNSF is contributing the $4.5 million, so that's what we're building to serve our needs. So really the ask here today is, we've talked to you about future to upsize the water and the wastewater. If we want to do the water, and I'll go into exactly what it'll cost line by line, but if we want to do the water, it's something that our engineering team and we need to know now, because we want to start designing. So since we're not going to go after the grant, that 2 to 3 month lag time that we originally thought we had, we're full steam ahead designing and then eventually going to construct next year. So again, this is kind of hard to see. I don't know if you have a copy in your slides, but if you break it down, the water treatment plant alone is about $780,000, and that's about $70,000, which was the engineering for the water treatment plant, and then the construction is $107,000. So in total, $780,000. The wastewater treatment plant, if you wanted to increase that and kind of mirror what we're proposing, that was the $2.2 million. So $190,000 for the engineering, and then $2 million for the construction. And while those are really big numbers, I know, and a lot to digest, again, kind of the thought is, do we want to take it in smaller bites? So LJA is going ahead, they're designing ours. Do we want to, pay the $780,000 and have them design the water treatment plant? Do we want to look at the $190,000 to add the wastewater treatment? So again, instead of the total $3 million, you can take it in smaller chunks. And I see Angela's passing out the PowerPoint. It's going to be a little bit easier to read. And we can go back to slide 7, and I can kind of walk you through those numbers if you want to turn to that in your deck. Okay, so slide 7, you can see at the very bottom where it says water treatment plant $780,000. So it's $780,000 would be for the water treatment plant to design and construct. So you can see I've broken out the engineering funds as well as the construction dollars. And then the wastewater treatment plant, that's the big ticket item, that's the 2.2, engineering being 190 and construction being 2. But I think, and again, this is something for you to consider, the construction of the wastewater treatment plant would be future state, right? It's not something we're building tomorrow. It's going to take us a while to design it and then to construct. So if the city knew that you wanted to participate, let's say in the water treatment plant, and that'd be the 780, plus go ahead and maybe design the wastewater treatment plant, so that way you already have the plans, they're on the shelf, and then you could maybe go after your own EDA grant when that becomes available again, either later this year or next year. So instead of the total 3 million, it takes you down to like 970. So again, I know that's a lot. I'm happy to answer any questions. But those are kind of, again, the main takeaways is we start designing ours, we're gonna want to design the water right away. So that's kind of the thing that we need to know is if you want to participate and you want us to design ours to accommodate your future growth, then we need to get our engineering team involved now and start designing that. I do think the wastewater treatment plant, if we wanted to design it now for the 190 and then have that $2 million to build later.
I just want to explain to everyone that, you know, they're gonna build for their 1,200 acres. We know that area of town, this is in Fostoria, you know, that area of town is growing. We've already got one subdivision out there. If we can add on to their water, we're talking probably a couple $1 million if we had to go out there and put a well in and a storage sewer plant. We're talking about, I think, Lacey, that if we do the 190, in other words, that'll be the engineering for our sewer. They'll build what they need, but then the plant will be built where we can add another tank, some other equipment, and then we'll have we'll go to 2 million, or we can
400
double
gallons per day. So it'll double, yes, sir.
Yeah, we can double the sewer plant. And we're talking big bucks. I mean, we can save money now because we're gonna need this water and we're gonna need the sewer. And we may not need the wastewater as fast as we need the water. But the water has to be done now because they have to design that tank and the well and everything to capacity. My deal with the EDC, we had already more or less pledged that we were going to do this project. At the time, we were talking probably 1.4 billion.
With the grant.
We're possibly talking about now, we're going to go out for a $2 million grant. If we get that grant, we'll do it all. We'll just go in and build the wastewater, sewer out to capacity. If we don't, we can spend the 780 and the 190. At least we've got the engineering, we've got the plant. You will have the plant out there, then we can, if it's 2 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, and we can add to that plant and double its size without having to go out and build a new water well and put a new wastewater treatment on that site. It just makes sense that we do it now and not wait. What BNSF is going to do out there is just going to be one of the biggest things that's ever happened to the city of Cleveland. They've already got people, I think, that, and Lacey can't tell us all, but there are people that are looking for sites now. And I just think this is why the EDC was involved in this meeting tonight. So y'all know because y'all know we saw our financial end of this deal. Whether if we get the grant, we're great. But we've got to probably go on and at least get the 709,000 done, pretty quick. I mean, we can fund that.
So my thought, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is we could start with at least the MOU of what we thought the next steps would be, whether that's going to depend on what you want to do. Do you want us to design both the water and the wastewater and construct the water? Because again, we need to know about water soon, because again, that depends if I'm going to use Jeff's example, build this big of a tank or this big of a tank. And so that's something we would need to know right away. So I would think we would do the MOU that basically says these are the things we want to move forward with. On that wastewater treatment plant, since that's $2 million, I mean, that's not something that has to be built right away. But to your point, at least you have it designed and the plans are there. And then should you get the grant. Again, unfortunately, the grant that we were gonna go after doesn't have any funds, but this might actually benefit you more because we're not gonna put our project into that grant. Our project, we're just gonna use our capital. So we could potentially fund the majority of your project with the grant instead of the majority of our project.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
Jackson, correct me if I'm wrong, Lacey, we also, depending on the timing of this thing, meaning the sewer plant, and our filings of that grant, it may come to where we get a better, or get a good deal on the sewer plant if it can be in conjunction with y'all building yours.
Right, I would assume that just, you have to pay the contractors to mobilize, so if our contractors are mobilizing to build ours, then you're not gonna have that double mobilization fee because they're already out there and they would just, instead of building one, they would just double it and build it.
But I understood the water's gonna come first and then the wastewater.
Correct.
We didn't really
And
think that.
the water's the one that we have to start designing again right away.
So, may I say something?
Go ahead.
So basically what we need to do is sort of get a plan to what is our next step, as she indicated, and then come back at a later date to.
Yeah, we're not gonna vote anything tonight except just being, we're for it. And a resolution, I think they will.
I think Lacey will come back, simple motion to authorize the expenditure of $970,000 to do the water treatment plant engineering and in construction as well as the engineering for the commission.
And before that motion is made, so as far as putting these steps together, the list of things that we need to put in place or that we need to do, is the city responsible for that, or?
Lacey will send
So,
I'm asking, right?
So my understanding, and Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, is we would draft the MOU. So if you said the motion to approve the $970,000, and that's for both engineering and to build the water, then I would have our outside counsel draft the MOU, and then we'd get it back to David. David would review. Once you agree, then I think the council then has to come back and vote on it before we sign.
This motion tonight is really a sign of good faith that we're willing to enter into this.
So with that said, I would like to go ahead and make the motion that we go forward and putting this in place.
Just for clarification, this is $970,000 for the engineering and construction of the water treatment plant as well as engineering for the wastewater.
Yes, water treatment plant is 780, yes. And,
Now you're doing this as under
water
the
plant.
city, right?
Yes.
City council. But y'all are gonna need to
City
make a motion.
council.
Who made the second? Okay. Council, any other discussion? Ask Lacey. Any questions?
Is this all we need to do tonight, Lacey?
That's all I need. Unless you have any other questions.
All those in favor, raise your right hand again.
What was your motion, Michelle? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
On this thing
It was a motion mirroring the city council's motion.
Who seconded?
And it's my understanding that y'all are doing this just so you can declare it as a project right now in case we need to utilize you for funding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lacey. Did you get it?
Michelle, y'all don't call for a vote. You just need a motion.
Did you call for the vote, Michelle?
Did y'all vote?
Okay, it passed.
Did you vote for it? On their motion. EDC, please make a motion to adjourn if you would like to leave the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'd like to thank the EDC members. Appreciate y'all coming out tonight.
She is offended.
There.
Yeah.
Item 5 is a proclamation declaring Black History Month. Read this right quick. Whereas Black History Month is observed annually across the United States on February, it serves in the celebration of the African American achievements as well as a time to recognize the critical role they have played in U.S. history and to pay tribute to the generations of Black Americans who struggled through adversity to achieve full citizenship in our society. Whereas in 1926, Dr. Carter J. Woodson and the Association for the Study of American Life and History sponsored a National Negro History Week, choosing the second week of February to coincide with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. By the late 1960s, thanks in part to the Civil Rights Movement, a growing awareness of Black identity, the week-long celebration evolved into a month-long one on many colleges' campuses. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month. We are immensely proud of that history and our diversity, as well as thankful for the countless contributions of the African American in the city of Cleveland and throughout this nation. This month and throughout the year, we urge our residents to celebrate that heritage and continue to fight for equality and opportunity for all. Now there it be resolved, our Richard Boya, Mayor of the City of Cleveland, takes us due to the here proclaiming February as Black History Month. Okay, we have public comments. Fred, Carol, keep saying go over here, but it's.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Fred Terrell. I've been in the city 34 years, moved here in 1988. I live at 403 W Street. And I'm sure over the years, when the municipal park was approved to build the city, EDC was part of that. Carolyn Waters suggested to the mayor at that time that I be the construction project manager, which I had retired, and I agreed to do. I went out there about every other day, took over 500 pictures, and tried to make that coordination. Well, at that time, we had a city manager, Dion Miller, that didn't know how to work with a volunteer. So therefore, my job at that ended. But that's the kind of things that really bothers me. We had issues between the architect and the contractor, and we had cost overruns. So you gotta have somebody who's knowledgeable of this to be able to be an arbitrator between this architect and the contractor in the city, so that you don't spend your money unwisely. I guess this whole thing, me talking, saddens me. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm gonna go forward with it. In 2016, the city council election was coming up, and this Victoria Good signed up and wanted to run. But it turns out our rules are, things are, you gotta live within the city limits of Cleveland for 12 months. I think she lived here most of her life, and moved away, got married, came back. And because she didn't live here 12 months, she was ineligible to run for the city council. Right behind her, Andrew Bound signed up to run. Same thing. And he was disqualified because he didn't sign his voter's registration card. Again, another rule, whether it's a good rule or not, it was a rule and we have to abide by it. So I guess this is where we are today. I was asked for Ms. Carolyn Waters and Kelly McDonald to run against James Franklin to keep him off the city council. I didn't really understand why. Now I do. What I don't understand is why Ms. McWaters has changed her attitude toward me. We've been friends for a long time. I think I finally figured it out. If I didn't go along with her idea of what's happening to things, then that made me the enemy. So I am now the enemy. All these rules are enforced. All these rules that kept these two people running. At the present time, our present city manager, Ms. Kelly McDonald, was operating and wasn't under their charter. She didn't deal with the city limits. So we had Ms. Kelly McWaters call a meeting together trying to change the rules. But the rules say the council has to approve it, then you have to go out for an election. So that didn't happen. So all I'm bringing this up for is that you have rules, you have things that you go by to make your city a better city. Now we look at the rules of this being voted. We have a council that you've got to call. 3 people are going to control what goes on in this council, regardless of what the other 2 members say or what the mayor says. So I'm representing the public trying to say, don't do this. If you got, and there is a guidelines for a city manager, go out and search and see if you can find 3 or 4 or 5 people that qualify, and then make your decision. One of the things calls for is a college degree, a bachelor's, preferably a master's. I don't know my time up. So give us just another second. In other words, part of this is having that degree. The other part is character and integrity. Anytime that my city manager doesn't want to agree or have a discussion with all 5 council members, then he's lost his integrity with me. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for that. Jim Carson, come on up, Jim.
Let me stand on this stool.
You can be an over here, Jim.
I'm on the right side of this now. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. I just want to give an update on Leadership East Texas. As most of you know, we started Leadership East Texas last year. It was started by the Greater Cleveland Chamber of Commerce, and it's a separate 501c3 waiting approval. But we had our 5th class today. There's one more class left one more session left in this class, and that's going to be on March 22nd. And then we have a graduation on April 19th to be 11/1. And we're going to invite all the members of City Council, of course, and a lot of the other members of the Leadership East Texas. What I wanted to bring out about Leadership East Texas that people may not understand is this is not something that you're doing just today. This is going to have ramifications for the next 10 to 20 years because they're setting up an alumni association, and these people that are graduating today from Liberty County, Polk County, and San Jacinto County are going to be our future leaders, and they're going to have communications with each other. And communications and networking get more done than going to city council meetings and trying to get stuff done. So this is a very important thing, and I appreciate the support that the city council has given us and the EDC is here.
Yes, it's very important. Jim. Do we have any, I know Ashley's here, do we have any more people that are doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, Leslie, I forgot you, I'm sorry, but they're taking the course.
Yes.
It's a great course.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jim. Victoria, good. She's the Chamber of Commerce.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Victoria Good. I'm the new Chief Operating Officer of the Chamber, and I just wanted to let you know of one of our upcoming events is this Thursday. We have Principal for a Day, and I know some of the people in here have participated in this event before, but what it is it gives the opportunity to community and business members to shadow an administrator at one of our local schools. We this year have Cleveland, Tarkington, and Splendora school districts participating, and so it just gives our business members a peek inside the daily life and the hard work of our local educators. This is just one way that the Chamber is connecting community and business. I've been involved with the Chamber for quite a few years now, and since I just started in December as the Chief Operating Officer, I have learned from other chambers that we are a very active chamber. We have 2 to 3 networking opportunities a month. We have a few large events every year. One of those events is Outdoor Expo, which we are starting to plan right now. And that is a free community event that we offer, and it's at the Stansel Expo Center. So yeah, we have a lot of opportunities for volunteers, sponsorships, and so much more. Our next luncheon is March 3rd, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it. You know, my daughters already try to run the schools anyhow. They're not running, yeah, they're trying. Ernest, Mitchell, sir.
Thank you for that.
You're it. You're the man.
All right. I don't think I need to. First, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor and Council, for this opportunity. I'd like to thank you for that proclamation that you just signed for this community, for the black community.
Very well.
I appreciate that. Next thing I've got on my agenda is that I've got a question. Has there been any follow-up on what I was here last month about the ditches and the?
I think they're starting Monday, right? Basically.
No, yes, the water lines and stuff have been, they were started this, on the 7th.
Not on that, not you talking about on the street, I'm talking about
Yes,
on Vine Street,
Yes,
down in the ditch down there.
Yes, sir.
You contacted them. I think Robert even contacted them. Now we're talking about the
Ditches.
yes,
Yeah, and the dust from the camera.
Yes, sir.
You had your
Yes.
contact.
Yes,
some of those issues.
Okay, you been in that condition.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got another problem.
Go ahead, Ernest.
I moved to Cleveland in 1954. And Cleveland was a little bedroom community town. And I know Cleveland has grown in some respects, but in some respects, some things still the same. I don't understand that. I wonder, do we have 2 Clevelands or do we have 1 Cleveland? You understand what I'm saying? I think all of y'all know where I'm coming from, though. Some parts of the town get recognized for a lot of things. Sometimes we get neglected. And I'm hoping that as the time go by that we will have 1 Cleveland. We look at, we do that pledge. I'm gonna say this. When I was on the school board, and we did that pledge of allegiance, and we said, and everybody looked at it, but when they got to that part, said justice for all, I didn't say nothing. The reason I didn't say nothing, because it wasn't justice for all. Years ago, when the school, before the school was integrated, they had separate but equal. We were sure separate, but we sure wasn't equal. We had secondhand stuff, and we still getting secondhand treated sometimes here, it seems like. And that's what I'm kind of a little concerned about that, and I'm hoping that in the future, Cleveland will be a 1 city unity, but everybody is got a part, is equally treated. If we ever get to that point, I think Cleveland will grow more. So I know in population sign out there says 7,000 something, but I know good and well there's more than that people there now. So they need to change that too. That's another thing needs to be changed. I'm gonna go there. Is that in the works? What's the matter? You know if that's in the works or not?
Yes.
So what?
And I understand, Bernie, exactly where you're coming.
Okay.
But I can tell you that as a council, I think I talk for all the council, we do something that's for the whole community. It's not, I can say that and feel pretty comfortable in saying that for us.
Well,
We spend it here, there, or east or north, or wherever it is, for us.
well,
I was in school when that, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, right, I know. Mm-hmm.
That hall was one side.
That's right. That's what I know. I tell you.
Bless us that we're way past that first.
Right. Well, I just want to know, I've been here a long time, seen a lot of things, and I just like to see it continually grow all the way around. I know probably Mr. What's his name just left here? Yeah, Terrell said something now that hit my mind too. 3 people can control the council. And that, I think some kind of way, I think that needs to be changed. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I think when it's like that, I think we're gonna see a one-sided situation. Yeah, I think everybody ought to have an equal shot at whatever is going on. Look at it. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hope it hurt nobody's feelings.
Oh, you're fine. Does anyone else want public comment? Come up to you got 3 minutes or so.
Thank you. My name is Rodney Harrison. Nice to meet you.
Rodney.
Thing I want to talk about. The city council sets the standard for the city. The city must set a positive example for the manner in which they behave, the manner of leadership, accountability, and city guidelines. The city employs approximately 150 employees. These employees are in direct view of the manner in which the Cleveland City Council behaves. If the city council fails to follow the guidelines, they must be made accountable because the sub-employees would also follow those same standards. I think this issue here of a limited amount of people acting in an inconsistent manner exposes the gross inconsistency within our city council and the people within our city. I think we should collectively come together, find a way to identify the problems, find a way to find resolution in a manner that's proactively rather than reactive. And the only way we grow is we grow collect together. We're going to do it intelligently, respectfully, and responsibly. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Ron. Anyone else? Anyone else in the audience? Okay.
What is the guide rules of speaking with the city manager on a problem? Like, I went through the steps and everything. You called me back one time, but I hadn't heard back yet. I'm still waiting on their call. So I was like, what was the guide like? I didn't want to have to come here like this, but I haven't heard back yet.
What did you call me for?
My name is Mr. Clay. You don't remember speaking with me, right?
I do, sir.
I don't want to put it out.
And I did call you back.
No, you didn't call me back.
Yes, sir, I did.
You called me back one time, you didn't call me back, that's a gap.
Excuse me?
I got my phone, you want to look at it?
No, sir, but I did call you back.
What you called me back on?
I spoke with you the day you called.
That was the day you called, but you said after the day you called, you said call me back afterward.
What was the problem?
Oh, it was something that, I don't want to speak on it publicly.
You just want to attack me, is all you want to do. That's what you're doing.
I don't even know you about attacking. I just asked you to call me back. I've been there 3 times after that, and you haven't got back with me yet.
He should call you back and he should follow up. That's my opinion of what he should
Right,
do.
that's what I thought. If, everyone else since I came with probably out with you, I don't know you to attack you. Don't even go there with that. Okay? If I attack you, ain't no problem on that. I ain't got no problem with attacking you. I was talking to him, man. I was talking to him, man.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Go.
Hello, my name is Amanda Garza. I do live here on Sherman Street. We have been having an issue with the speed limit. I don't know if y'all are aware of it. So on Lyle and Truman, there's only 2 stop signs, 1 way. So we're asking if maybe we could get 4-way stop sign because the child was hit recently by a car speeding. Our speed limit is 30, we go about 50 down there, 60. We're asking maybe, I know that none of the officers have police radar because
I couldn't hear this.
Lyle and Truman and Lyle. So we've been having a lot of issues with the
Okay.
speeding.
Well, and I suggest you call him tomorrow and let us know, and then we can put it, if we need to put it on agenda, if it's something he can do. I mean, if it's probably a stop sign or a yield or whatever, we
Yeah,
probably have to.
it's a serious issue because it takes me 5 to 10 minutes to pull out of my driveway in the morning because people are going so fast down that road.
I know the chief, is usually really good about helping people too, if you have a.
I have spoken with
issue.
one of the officers and that's what he got.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, they can make that a priority to check, that particular area.
Yeah, he's the one actually, one of the officers is the one telling me to come over here and talk to you guys about it, so. So that's the reason, but we have an issue with the speed going in there. People don't follow the speed limit, and as you know, children walk down that street from the high school. They're having to dodge cars.
We need to get it down, and then we'll follow up and make sure that if we don't follow up, then you come back and call us out, whatever, but we'll try to take care of that situation, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
You need to get a location that was Truman and Wild West.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
Well, Darryl, like I say, he's usually very good about taking care of, if we need to put more officers there, or, he'll deal with it, I think. Anyone else? Continue. Item six is public, from the comments, we've already done that. Item 7 is reports and comments from the city council, mayor, or city staff. James, we'll start with you. Marilyn?
Yes, sir. Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to acknowledge, this is Black History Month, they elected proclamation already, but I would like to acknowledge Brother Mitchell because he has been a big leader here in this community within the school district and also the community and business. And I think he deserves an applause. I think everybody knows him by Slick. Also, I would like to, due to the fact that I'm on city council, I would like to also acknowledge Mita Thomas, which was on the city council. And my understanding, she was the first female elected on the city council and also served as the mayor pro tem. And she also was in the education department. And I think that is worth being acknowledged for as far as Black history. And her husband as well was the first Black elected city council member. And he served approximately, I think, 16 years, the information that I have, until he passed away. So I think that's a lot of accomplishment there. And not only that, there was Monique, first female mayor in Liberty County, and she also was Black. So I think that is a great accomplishment as well. Along with that, there were other city council members that have served on this board. But these are a lot of people that has worked in the community, tried to make a difference. And I just feel like, just like Brother Mitchell said, working together, we can make a difference. So we do need to work together. And I think that's all I have. Thanks everybody for coming out.
I'd just like to put in there, I think I was the only mayor that ever served. I'm not sure of the mayor, I may have been with William, when he was just on the city council, but I served with Nita and then I served with Nydia, all three of them. And I've got a picture somewhere that we need to get out. That had to be a first in our city.
So, yes, sir. So I just think everybody just need to be proud of the history that they have contributed to the city of Cleveland, regardless of race or gender or whatever, but history is very important, and we make history every day, so let's make better history.
Ernest Mitchell, the first time I run for office, he come out and I was shaking like a leaf. I was doing a speech over at 20, and he knows he'd come out and he said, "Hey, Richard, they're not gonna eat you. You'll make it." And that calmed me down. I reckon I got it first. I can't even remember, but it's been a long time. Danny, you got it?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Everything that was said, I listened to it. And I heard a comment that this was a setup. Ain't no setup. The people that here that came and spoke, Bill Mitchell, Clay, Rodney, Fred, I hear that all the time. You know, and I encourage people, hey, don't just come tell me, come give that to the whole council. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the job. I mean, I don't mind constructive criticism. I take it all the time. People come knock on my door, call my phone. I'm always accessible, but that's what these forums are for. Sometimes you're gonna hear some stuff that you might not want to hear, but the people here in Cleveland, they all aware, they're smart, they know what's going on, they know right from wrong. So, you know, I think going forward as a council, I have 3 more meetings, I'll be off for term limits. But that's something that the council really needs to come together on. We feel like that the people don't know what's going on. People know what's going on. People watch these meetings on Facebook Live and on YouTube. So, you know, we can't just insulate ourselves in here and act like that, you know, it's just us. People are watching us. You know, we the leaders of the community. And so I just wish the council well going forward. And once again, thank you for everyone that came out and continue to come out. Let's just don't wait till some type of controversy comes up. Let's hold our council, hold me accountable. And I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, sometimes it wears on me. But what I heard tonight is stuff that I hadn't heard before. It's just an open forum. It's for everybody. So, you know, thank you guys for coming out and voicing your opinions. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Go ahead.
I just want to bless Cleveland, Texas. You know, we have come a long way. And if we don't stand together, we'll fall for anything. We can sit, we can listen to what he say, she say, but until we all come together as one, we're not gonna make it. These councils have been set up for a mighty long time. Some of the rules are root for business forever. And we need to pull the charter and start looking over it again. We have excellent people working in this city, people coming away from Houston and everywhere to help us get the city where it needs to be. We can be a family. Some family have some riffraff, some have some excellent. But until we all riffraff, the excellent, and in the middle come together, it'll never work. We go through a lot of things on this council, behind closed doors, at home, whatever. But it's not gonna work until we come together. There's a lot of things that go on that y'all don't even know. But you know what? It's all good. God got the whole thing in his hand. And when he's ready to show the light, he will show the light. So y'all be blessed. Cleveland, Texas is gonna blow up. And it's gonna be awesome for our young people. Our young people need everything. So they will wanna stay here and grow here and live here, because we're not 16 no more. We need our young people. Educationally, work, behind these council seats, we need our young people. So let's start focusing on our young people and not our little bitty things, the rocks that we throw at each other. Y'all be blessed.
Carolyn, I forgot you.
That's okay. I just wanted to say thank y'all all for coming out tonight and voicing your opinions and listening to what we have to say tonight. We appreciate all of you. We are a council together and we work together. We try to work for the betterment, and we do work for the betterment of our city and our residents and our employees. We take very good care to take care of our employees, and that's very important to each and every one of us. But thank you all so very much for being here.
Anyone else? Okay, we're gonna move on to consent agenda. Item 8 through 14. This council had a chance to review items 8 through 14.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if there is no questions or discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda, item number 8 through 14.
Yeah, I'll second.
I have a motion from Natalie, a second from Marilyn, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion, council? Not, I'll ask for the vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Against, the same sign. Okay, item 15 is consideration and possible action to authorize the city attorney to negotiate an employment agreement with the interim city manager.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we postpone this until we can come to an agreement to go through a recruiting process.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Maryland to table the item 15. Danny seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand.
And if I may say something?
Go ahead.
Okay, and the reason I made that motion, and I think you heard that in some of the discussions earlier, we are dealing with a situation here.
Hold on, we still didn't finish.
Sorry?
We didn't call for the nays. We were in the middle of the vote.
Can everybody that votes?
Well, excuse me, hold on 1 second. How are we gonna vote on something that we haven't discussed it? You can't make a vote unless you discuss it. It has to be discussed.
That's fine. We'll re-vote after we discuss.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Maryland.
As I was saying, we're dealing with a situation right here now that, and most of you have already heard about it, where there was a special call meeting, and 3 of the council members, 3 is the majority, and of course, we had a interim city manager put in that place. Well, we didn't have any information on this person. We didn't even have a resume. He didn't have the credentials, the education, the experience, any of that. He was already hired here as a public works director, and this had nothing against the person that they put in this place. It was just the whole process. And I feel like we owe it to the people to do a process that can recruit a candidate that's suitable for that position. We were elected by the people, and as elected officials, we are supposed to go through the process to have the best candidate for that position. We are a growing city. We have a lot of things out there. We have a lot of negotiation. There's a lot of financial input. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of comprehensive planning that we need to do. But we need to make sure we get the right person for the job. Now, if the people's okay with this, I know that I did my job. If you're okay with this, I did my job. But I think it's for the people to speak up and speak out on their city to make sure that they have the right candidate for this position. And that's why I made that motion.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
I second that motion. First of all, this is kind of embarrassing, actually, that we in this place discussing this. I mean, what business owner would hire somebody and hadn't interviewed anybody? And I'm sitting on the board and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I mean, there are qualifications that you must have. I met our public works director. He seems to be a great guy. And man, I feel bad for you that you're in this position, but I'm obligated to the citizens of Cleveland. I gotta do what's right. And this is wrong. I heard a council person say, oh, this is setup. This is not no setup. People want to see stuff done right. So you can vote the way you want it, but it's not right. I lost sleep over this. It's just not right. Cleveland, I worked in Conroe for years. And I sat at lunch break and hear people saying stuff about Cleveland schools, about the city. And I would get so angry, so mad, that people look down on Cleveland. We were like the stepchild of Liberty County. You know, and now we have an opportunity, people are looking to Cleveland. People moving to Cleveland. We're growing. And we need to have the best people in the positions that's gonna lead us. We don't need somebody that's got we need somebody that's gonna hit the ground running and lead the city. I mean, we cannot afford to make no mistakes on this. But we should go through the process. Let's look at candidates, bring them in, interview them. And if we can't find anybody, maybe, and once we find out something about the interim, then maybe it might be okay. I don't know. But we hadn't even talked to anybody. You know, we had ex-city manager that left here years ago, Hector Forstier. He just retired from Willis. He offered to come here as an interim. But it was such a rush just the guy we wanted. And I didn't have any say so. I've been here for 62 years. No say so. I was elected by the people. No say so. So I second that motion. I'm done with it.
Mayor, if you just want.
Go ahead.
I also wanted to say, this actually was a question. Was this position posted? And where was it posted? What areas or locations was it posted?
The interim city manager position was not posted, Ms. Clay.
Okay. And the reason I asked that is because we were headed toward making a decision to appoint this same individual for the city manager. So, but the city manager's not here, but do we have the position posted for the city manager?
I was asked to find a recruiting company, so the position of city manager has not been posted.
No authority has been given to staff to post the position.
Okay, so that within itself is a reason why we should go through the process to allow people that's interested, because my understanding, we've already received some applications.
Well, my ideal on this motion tonight is that we table it. It just, I mean, even if I thought Stacy was a good interim city manager, I've not, he's been here, 3 weeks? I don't know anything about it. Unless the council wants to vote, y'all vote. We've got a motion from Marilyn, a second from Danny. Go ahead. You can.
Thank you. My name is Dolores Tears. I was elected official. I got over 800-something votes. Okay? When Mr. Bobby Pillington got blessed with a better position, he left. We gave him a few weeks' notice. Might not even been a few weeks. Somebody had to come in and start running this ship. You just can't leave this kind of business out here uncovered and just let the staff handle this thing. You got to have somebody. When Miss Carolyn McWaters, Mr. Franklin, James Franklin, I was accused of having meetings that I don't do. And some people know that the Lord's don't do that because I love my freedom too much. $25 ain't enough to go to prison. And I'm not gonna go nowhere, get my character put out for $25. Mr. Stacy, I met him maybe a couple of times. I have no problem with him because you know what? I look at your character and your integrity. Miss Kelly McDonald was here for almost 30-some years. City secretary. Every manager that came to this building, she had to train. When she did get her opportunity to be a city manager, she went and started taking her courses to get her certificate or degree to be the city manager. Bobby Pillington was a financial director. Out of the 2 years that almost 2 years, he held this position that he wanted. He never got his certificate. But he did get blessed. He got elevated to, another higher position in the city that he's from. You just can't put your foot on people and not think that they can't go do no better. Some of us in here, I have never been to college, not me, but that don't mean I can't do what I need to do. It only takes a minute. All you gotta do is give a person an opportunity. All you got, just give a person an opportunity to show what they can do. And then they can, and let them do it. Even though we've been falsely accused, we've been talked to real horrible. And I won't even open my mouth, even put that filth in my mouth. There is no forum here. There is no meetings here. And there will never be no meetings with me, period. Because I don't do that. I don't do it at all. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Stacy. He came in, he's given his best, he's given his all. Even though he fights the opposition just every second, hitting him. But he's still giving his best. The employees are relaxed and they're trying to do what they need to do while they wait to see what's going to be going. The whole total budget for the search through is almost $25,000. We need more employees. We still need people to help run these parks and cemeteries. Just think what we can do with that $25,000. When somebody gonna do is go push a button on a computer, $25,000, and send us whatever they're gonna send us, and tell us it's a city manager. Come on, you gotta be wise with your money. Just don't spin this book and throw it in the wind. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Stacy. If you're given the opportunity, stop bashing, stop trying to make it look like you don't know what he's doing. I even asked about one person, with all the credentials and experience, let's hand it over to them. They didn't want it. Stop bashing, until you understand who's who. Can't do that, don't judge people. Don't judge, there is no quorum here. That's only right here. And some people are just upset, but that's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody gonna come in your home and tell you how to do your home. And you just gonna let them just come in and tell you when you know what to do with your eyes closed. Let this man have opportunity to do his job. It's wrong with what he's going through. All of this that's going on in here, it's all been, you can tell. It's God see this. You see it all. Stop. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And I can't be a part of wrong. And I won't be a part of wrong. It's wrong, y'all. It's wrong. Y'all are falsely judging and accusing this man, tearing down his character, tearing down his integrity for no reason. It's wrong. And I don't care how you put it on the bread, it's wrong. Period.
Okay, so, not enough?
No, sir, but it's wrong.
Okay. Asking somebody going by qualifications that are required for a city manager, that's not attacking somebody, because I'm asking you what are your qualifications. If I go somewhere and look for a job, anybody can look for a job, they want to know what your qualifications are. If you're not qualified, I've been told a lot of times, look, you're not qualified. I didn't feel like that was an attack. You know, I'm not attacking anybody. I mean, like I said, I answer to people quick. I have no agenda, no axe to grind. I mean, everybody knows me. I'm hands-on. People pull up my driveway, knock on my door. I'm hands-on with people. You know, it's not no attack on nobody. This is.
Mayor, can I make my final,
How much qualifications of bids and this
Go ahead, Marilyn, you got the floor, Marilyn.
Bobby didn't have a degree in city management.
It's not a degree of city manager.
Bobby did not have any
It's for
competition.
political.
Hey,
So stop.
Marilyn, you've got the
May I
floor.
speak, please? This is my final say. Where is your value? And I'm just asking the people that, where is your value? Character, integrity, that's not what we need to run our city. And this is not throwing stones at Mr. Williams. Do the right thing. The wrong thing, I heard one of the council members say this was wrong. The wrong thing is we're not going about this the right way. Mr. Stacy still can put his application in if he wants to apply for this job. But I feel like the people need the right to apply for this job. There are people that I know have submitted or written the application or wanted to apply for the job, but they were told they couldn't do it. And I don't know who told them that. But we need to do this right. Post a position, advertise it, and allow people to submit their resumes or applications. We just need to do the right thing. When you do the right thing, you don't have nothing to worry about. As I said earlier, if the people's okay with this, I've done my job. I've done my job as an elected official. Okay? We are the voice for the people, and that's what I'm here for. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Marilyn made the motion, Danny seconded it, that we table this out. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Against, same sign. Council, what do y'all want to do?
Mayor, I'm not going to speak to everything that's been said, but I think Mr. Williams is a very good candidate for this position.
We're not giving him the city manager's position tonight, Karen. It's not
No,
on the
but
agenda.
I'm fixing to make a
Okay.
motion. I'll go ahead and do that. I'd like to make a motion that we authorize our city attorney to enter into an agreement with the interim city manager to negotiate a contract with him for the city manager position, and for that to be brought back, the contract to be brought back to us next week in a special call meeting.
Make it public, because I'm not doing no executive meetings without a policeman in the room.
I agree.
I'm not going in that room without some security.
No, I made this motion.
I'm fine with the motion, I just, more personal, my wife and I are going out of town on her anniversary trip. So I'm not 100% sure that we can get that done by next week. Just at a special meeting or sometime for next regular meeting.
Possible.
Well, Carolyn, what is such the emergency that you want to do this so fast? I mean, is there something under the table we don't know about that you're doing this, or you're pushing this?
Richard, no, it's just like the.
There is something, there gotta be. You're gonna put a man to work that doesn't know a damn thing?
See, that's half when we go through that back room.
Mayor, we have a motion and a second, I'm calling for a vote.
You're not calling for anything.
Well, yes, I
I'll
will.
make,
Yes,
you
I
make the
will.
motion, James seconded.
I can
Any other
call.
discussion?
No.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Item 16, consideration and possible action on in-kind request from Brian Latham for use of this Stansville Expo Rodeo Arena for a Memorial Scholarship Rodeo to be held on November the 12th, 2022. Folks, let me just say one thing. You have a right to vote in a couple of months to change this. And if you don't, then you're just gonna sit here and let these three people run this city, and that's just ridiculous, just wrong.
And I pray that everybody do vote. Please vote. Because it's your right to vote. And you vote with your heart and your mind, and you color in that little square, whatever, and you be at peace. You do what you're supposed to do. Because I know who I am, so I'm not worried about it. If God don't want me here, He won't let me back. If He want me here, He'll put me back.
Okay, that's enough, of course.
No, it's not enough, sir.
You've had your deal.
Don't tell me what to do, Dan. Say a word. Bottom line, I
Is,
am.
Mr. Latham here? Brian, come on up and talk to me.
How you doing?
Go ahead, sir.
I'm Brian Latham. We have a memorial scholarship fund, 501c3. This year will be our 10th annual calf roping fundraiser. We do multiple fundraising events through the year. We have team roping. We do that at Jimmy Rollins' place. And we've always done our calf roping at Minnesota. It was a good central location for contestants, etc. This year I considered moving it here to Cleveland, and this is where we do most of our fundraising and where we give away most of our scholarship money is Liberty County, Hope County, St. Jacinta County. So I was going to ask y'all if we could enact the in-kind to help us with the rent on the arena and see if we can get that process started and start planning that for November this year.
Mayor, if I can.
Go ahead.
I think it's great when anyone is trying to do something positive for the city to sort of give the people something to do. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we honor this in-kind request for Mr. Latham for the use of the Spencer Park. Rodeo.
Marilyn made the motion.
Second.
James seconded it. Right, James?
What Ms. Clay, is that to waive the fees or is that to provide a reduction in fees? Could you clarify your motion, please?
I think we can waive it. Waive it.
That's the waive the fees. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Item 17, consideration and possible, thanks, sir. Consideration and possible action on bids of trust for property, Texas, I believe 12101563. This is address on Francis Phillips, Block 7, Lot 5 and 6, acres 2.939 from Rita Roldan in the bid amount of $5,000 plus approximately $2,916.11 and post-judgment taxes. Item B of this is addressed, listed as Francis Phillip, Block 7, Lot 5 and 6, acres 2.939 from Paul Rhodes Jr. in the amount of $9,600 plus approximately $2,916.11 and judgment taxes. This is to put this property back on the rolls and let the city and the school, I don't know if the school looked at this yet, Andrew.
On the Ms. Rodan's, council had approved a $5,600 bid. It got passed by the school, but declined by the county. So if you do a $5,000, most likely it's going to be declined by the county because it's a lower amount. If you approve Mr. Rhodes at $9,600, that is what is called a strike-off value, which means that does not require the school or the county, because that is the minimum, that's the minimum that is required for this tax. So that would only require the city council's approval for the $9,600, and then you will also receive the $2,916 in post-judgment taxes split out between the three entities.
So that would not be enough to cover the taxes? Is that what you're saying?
No, ma'am. The $9,600 is a strike-off value, which means that that is what was foreclosed on. That was the value of the property at foreclosure, and that only requires the city council's approval. You do not have to take that to the school or the county. If you approve it tonight, that would move forward, and he gets the property.
And what was the value of the property?
I believe the value of the property shows it to be $9,600 on the, $9,600 when it was judgment. So that's the strike-off value is the $9,600. The property currently is valued at $21,760 for the 2021 tax year. But this way it does get it back on the property roll. you're able to get taxes going forward.
I'm assuming they'll have to pay out of that $2,916.11 will go towards taxes that are owed on it.
Yes, sir, that's the taxes that were done prior to, yes, sir, that were the post-judgment taxes. So the person would have to pay the $9,600 plus the $2,916.
If we pass it tonight, does it go to the county or go to the school?
If you choose the $9,600, it does not have to go any further. Council will adopt, or will approve it for all three entities, because that is the strike-off value. If you choose the $5,000 bid, that does have to go to all three counties, all three entities.
Well, I think it'd be best to go ahead and accept the 96. That way it will be put back on the tax roll.
All roads, junior, that seems to be on it.
Okay.
Have a motion from Marilyn, a second from James. Any other discussion about this, getting this property back on the tax roll? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Against, same sign. Item 18, consideration and possible action on board member appointment for Cleveland Economic Development Corporation to replace Mr. Woolridge as a board member.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Ms. Carolyn Davis to that position. I think that she is qualified. She has served on the Cleveland ISD School Board for a number of years. She served City Council for a number of years.
I served with her on City Council.
And I think that she is willing to serve, so I make a motion to appoint Ms. Davis.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion from Danny Lee to appoint Darlene Davis, second from Maryland. Any other discussion by council? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Against, the same sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was in favor?
The only ones in favor were Marilyn and Danny. Now we have to call for the names.
You're in favor?
I didn't see your hand, so. Okay, so Terry was.
Lower, she voted for him. You voted for him?
Who against?
Okay, 3-4.
Danny, Dolores, all those in favor.
Carolyn, what was your vote?
I voted against.
Okay, Marilyn?
For.
And that was simply because I had another candidate
Yes.
in mind, nothing against Sterling.
Yes. Did you say?
Danny?
Yes, James was against.
Danny? Yes.
Yeah, I made the motion.
Yeah.
Dolores? Yes. It didn't pass.
No, it did pass.
Okay, so yeah.
It did pass. Three yeses, 2 noes.
I can't see you, darling. Okay. Item 19, consideration and possible action on street name change for Beach Avenue to be changed to Ernest Carrington Senior Avenue, and a possible action on the resolution for the same. We have anyone here from the Carrington family or?
Good evening, Mayor and all the city council. My name is Charles Carrington. She did the legwork.
Yes, sir, I understand.
She knocked on doors, if I was sitting there, I was telling them about the history of Cleveland. And this is great time to do this in Black History time. You know, I'm gonna talk down there, but like I said, she did all the legwork.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, when they first integrated, they volunteers said, who want to go to white school? So we sat around the woodies and stuff and things, and so my sister came in her steam saying, Dad, I want to go to that school over there. And we said, you must be crazy. And so we sat there and talked. So Dad said, you want to go on. So she went to school, my sister named Ernestine, she went to school over there. So she was very black, in school. And then we took, so a couple of years later, Dad said, well, she went over there, so we might as well start getting home, but we got over Woodhouse and stuff, so we sat around on Beach Street, that first brick house, the precinct 20, a lot of people don't know that. That's on Beach Street, that first brick on the, they got that.
Brick house? Was it a brick house or?
That brick house on Beach Street, a lot of people don't know the history of Cleveland, that's the first brick house over the precinct 20. So they got that to say, so we ended up in the home and stuff. And so, after the my sister went on, graduated school, and then she ended up in then she very black. Never worked this Cleveland Police Department, the dispatcher, very black. So that was a great thing, so she left there, and then they just said, so I wasn't there with her. She said, I'm gonna try it, very black. And so, the history then, I was thinking with my wife, telling my wife about it, said, we need to do something about this, so I let her talk. And she was to knock on those, well, she talked, I don't know what lady she called her there. She said, no, what she needs.
Do you have all the signatures?
Yes, sir.
She got all the signatures, everybody else?
I know she worried, I know she said, she took call every day what she needed to do. So she went to work, and so I let her know what all she did.
Not much to say, but thank you, Mayor, for allowing us this opportunity. Like I said, I had to get the history from him and everything, but like I said, it was a job, but Ms. Angela, she walked me through every step that I needed to take in order to get this on the agenda and everything. I appreciate her for that. That's all I pretty much have to say, because he gave you the history of everything.
We're having a big party when we do it?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we change the name of Beach Street to Ernest Carrington Senior Avenue.
Carolyn, you made the motion.
I did.
Dolores, you seconded.
Yes.
All those in favor, raise your right, or any discussion, you want? All those in favor, raise your right hand, against the same sign.
Yes.
I mean, it has the same legal effect as the other, so that's okay.
Item 20, consider ordinance amending the budget for fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2021 budget carryover for fiscal year 2022 adopted budget. Leslie, are you going to talk about that to us? Or Stacy, you?
Yeah, Mayor, we just have, there's 2 amendments and 6 carryovers from the 2021 budget to the 2022 budget. Leslie, if you've got some additional information or if council has any questions regarding any of the amendments or carryovers.
Mayor, these are housekeeping.
That's what I was going to say. Just I think you took the words out of my mouth. This is housekeeping. Leslie, you got anything on it, or we good? Did we go ahead? Council have any questions? Got a motion from council?
I'll make the motion.
Morris made the motion.
Second.
Marilyn seconded. Any other discussion by council? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Yes, same. Item 21, consideration and possible action on resolution for support or denial of affordable rental housing application submitted for the Cleveland Square and Cleveland Plaza apartments. And I've talked to David about this. I'm gonna let David.
Well, he asked me to take a harder look at this. So my suggestion would be, if I don't see any need for timeliness, and it doesn't need to be addressed this week. I don't know if there's anybody here that represents the applicant. Otherwise, I would recommend we table this matter. Let me take a harder look at it, and I'll have a better recommendation next week.
Before we table it, this is for the applicant actually is the buyer that's buying the complex?
I don't know.
We don't know yet.
You don't know?
I need to snoop around a little bit,
Okay.
try to figure out what's going on.
Thank you. Well, I make a motion that we table this item until we get further information.
Marilyn. Second. And James. Marilyn made the motion, James seconded. Any other discussion by council? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Against, the same sign. Item 22, consideration and possible action on approval of financing fire apparatus and possible action on resolution on financing and authorization of interim city manager to sign documents pertaining to the financing after review by the city attorney. We know we need to buy a ladder truck. I feel like, Sean, how long is it out? Probably a year and a half. If we order it today, how far out?
So the ones that we're in discussion with are actually under construction now. They're being built as demos. that can be sold to anyone. And that's the initial is trying to get them designed to, catch one of those while they're in construction. Because if we don't, then the lead time right now for a fire apparatus is 16 months.
16.
Basically, by signing that, it just ear tags a unit for us, correct?
Correct, yes.
Well, we know we need the ladder truck, bad. I mean, I feel like we do, and we can finance it, and won't, I think Leslie, you're.
I'm gonna do a presentation.
Okay, go ahead.
So, make sure.
No, she's got, Leslie's worked really hard to put a presentation together, that's gonna give some options, for ladder truck only, a couple of financing options, as well as a ladder truck and pumper truck with some financing options. Go ahead, Leslie.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over just like, what we currently have right now. The engine, which is the pumper and ladder, are needed to maintain our ISO rating and apparatus in service. Large apparatus, which are ladder, pumper, and tanker, are recommended to be replaced after 15 years with 20 years max year use. The city has no ladder truck right now in reserve. So I'm gonna go down the list of the fire apparatus that we currently own. We have the engine 41, which is a pumper and is 23 years old and is out of service due to fuel system. We have engine 42, which is a pumper as well, 13 years old, in service after having front end rebuilt. And then we have another pumper, which is engine 43, 6 years old, and it's back in service. We recently repaired from the DEF system because there was a malfunction. We have a ladder 42, which is 25 years old. We recently had ladder and pumper repairs. We have a tanker that's 23 years old, currently in service, and then we have a tanker 41 under construction. This tanker should be received in March, by the end of March. So we have option 1 with Hilltop Security. This is a 7-year note, and it's just financing the ladder truck. It's coming in at $1,280,000 and a 2.40 interest rate. And we would have our first payment done in fiscal year 2023. As you can see the chart, it indicates the dark shade is principal, the light shade is interest. And then at the very end where it says pay Hilltop cost of issuance in advance, we would have to pay Hilltop $40,125 upfront to use so they can do our financing. Let's go to option 2. Option 2 is with Government Capital. It's also a 7-year tax note. And we will be financing $1,276,045 with a 2.551% interest rate. There's no additional cost to go with them. There's a breakdown of the principal and interest. So here I want you to look at the final cost, option 1 and option 2. Hilltop Security, Government Capital. Final cost to use Hilltop Security would be $1,434,205. To use Government Capital is $1,409,477. There's a difference of $24,728. Reason being is because we have to pay Hilltop Security $40,125 upfront. So we would be paying Hilltop Security more in the long run.
Is there a reason we have to pay them?
It's just their fees, but that's my recommendation is gonna be for us to go with Government Capital. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's good.
Okay, so the next one is option 3. In option 3, we're financing both the ladder and the pumper give me just a second. Okay, so it's a 7-year note as well, and we would be financing $2,040,000 with Hilltop Security. Once again, once again, Hilltop has, an advance that we would have to pay of almost $44,000. If you go to the next slide, option 4 is also a 7-year note. This is with government capital, and we would only be financing $2,035,286. They have no additional cost. The interest rate would be at 2.551%. And here's the graph where it shows the breakdown between principal and interest. The next slide shows the difference. So the final cost, if we were to finance the ladder and the pumper, Hilltop Security, government capital, final cost, $2,280,000, $2,248,195. The difference that we would be paying Hilltop Security, $31,810. So we're paying them, even though Hilltop Security is giving us a better interest rate with the possibility of coming in a little bit lower, we'll still be paying them more money because of the way they, the cost of the issuance, which is $43,000, almost $44,000. And here is a picture of what because I had no clue what a ladder and a pumper looked like, so I had to look and see. And this is what a ladder looks like, and that's what a pumper looks like. And so staff recommends to fund the ladder truck only since it has met its time expectancy and go with government capital. We also recommend to budget for a new pumper in the upcoming years. And this, I just wanted to put this picture up there. This is the tanker that is being built and we should receive by the end of March. I just wanted to give you a picture of it and show you.
Stacy, would it not be to our benefit to budget for both of these, to go ahead and order both of these or no?
Well, yes, ma'am, it's an increase in,
Or do we have the funds to do that?
in cost, Leslie?
Yeah, no, I think the ladder for now and the pumper, we need a budget for in the upcoming years.
And Sean, correct me if we're, status-wise on the pumpers, as it stands now, we're okay, and the ladder is the bigger need.
So, yeah, the last time when the ladder was out of service for about 6 months.
Right.
The wiring harness for the main ladder was what was out. They found one on a back shelf in Indiana somewhere.
Right.
They said if that harness goes out again, the ladder's done. We bought it as a used ladder from Gainesville, I believe.
Right.
And it was already over 20 years old when we purchased.
Right.
So it was, and the company that built that ladder is out of business. The company that bought that business when they went out of business went out of business in 2014. They no longer make parts for the truck that we have.
Right.
So once it goes out of service, we're done.
Right.
Well, that truck they brought up here, Sean, a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Is that the one that?
That's representative of the photo. Those are just examples, but that's the type of truck that we looked at that day, yes.
Right. And to answer your question, Ms. McWaters, I think the recommendation would be to go with the ladder at this point in time. Let's get the fire station number 2 paid off, and then let's look at budgeting additional funds for a pumper down the road.
I'll make the motion that we approve the ladder truck through government capital.
Laura, you make that? If our financial people looked at this,
Yes,
so this
that Hilltop Security is actually our financial advisor. So yeah, I go.
Mayor, and the attorney did review this or already?
Review what?
Are you gonna review the once they put everything together? Yes, okay.
Okay, Carolyn made the motion, Laura seconded it. Any other discussion, council? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Yes, same sign. As far as I know, we're going to do the executive session. Okay, call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Meredith made the motion, James seconded it, all those in favor, let's go. Thank everybody for coming out.